All right, Travis.
Well, sweet. We are rocking and rolling here on Facebook. I know that everyone out there and YouTube actually, I know everyone out there has just been waiting, right? No SEC previews have been happening on any other podcasts because they've been waiting for this level of excitement from us. I mean, we're really going to set the stage. I mean, Desmond Howard was kind of out there, okay, but maybe we'll catch up with him. Didn't he say like A&M,
Yes.
Michigan, Baylor, and I can't remember the fourth, but he had A&M.
Pittsburgh or something, something random.
He at least had an SEC team win, so that's good. So that was probably wise. So what we're going to do is give you your SEC preview. This does not count towards our overall picks later on when bowl season starts, all that good fun stuff. And you guys could actually win a jersey like me and Blake. So
I was so close.
that's the hope. And so we're just gonna kind of go around and pick teams from the SEC, predict their records and outcomes, and give any upsets that we may think will happen. But that's kind of what we're gonna do. You guys feel free to share whatever. Who you're gonna? Well, I guess we could pick who's gonna win the SEC or at least play for the SEC title. Although I'm fairly certain that might be what like people like to say chalk. But we'll see. We will see.
Why they play the game.
That is why they play the game. And, we're in that familiar stage with Auburn where everybody expects nothing. And that's when they thrive. So
want to shock the world, baby.
Who knows? You guys have got as good a guess as I've got. So any opinions on where to start? I mean, we could start with Vandy. And, we already got one win, right? So they're at least 1-0. And, of course, anybody that's watching, we'd love to have your comments. Feel free to chime in about what you think college football is going to go with. As I mentioned, Vandy won 63-10 off the mainland. I had a feeling Vandy would win, but I was not expecting 63 points, Blake. What about you?
I thought the line in that game was 9.5. And I thought Hawaii was going to at least keep it within 9.5, and boy, was I wrong.
They did not.
So I thought Hawaii, being on a first-year coach and Vandy being the Vandy that we've all known to come and expect. Clark Lee has those boys ready to play. So it's hard to beat Air 63-10. So we'll see what the Commodores have in store. They've got Elon next week, so let's go ahead and chalk that up as a dub. Vandy starting off 2-0.
Oh yeah, I've got them, and their quarterback, Mike Wright is his name, had like a 87-yard touchdown. It looked like he went fairly untouched to the house. I've got Vandy coming just short of bowl eligibility. They beat Mizzou, but they finished 5-7.
They've got a shot to start off 4-0.
I think
if they can get past Wake Forest.
I think they go 4-0. Then they come into Tuscaloosa and they try and run that little read, and Will Anderson just absolutely murders the quarterback. He may be done for the rest of the year. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
I won't say I hope that happens, but it's possible.
He's probably not going to be as confident with the read in that game as he was in Hawaii.
Yeah, probably not. Ben, you got a record?
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I'm going to give Vandy. I shouldn't, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and they go 50%, 6-6.
Wow.
Let's see them go 6-6.
I do have them upsetting Wake Forest, who's currently ranked. I do have them beating the Demon Deacons.
Let's go.
I know it was a lightning storm earlier, but I think it's about to get Ben. So
it's getting to him.
Yeah.
Did you give your record totals, guys? I don't know. Will, Blake?
Oh,
4-8.
You said what?
4-8.
4-8. I was going to give them 5-7.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I was teetering on South Carolina, but I think South Carolina can be a little bit of an underdog this year in the SEC and cause some havoc over there in the East.
think the next, well, actually, this is a worse record. I'll just go the worst. I'm going with Mizzou. I think Mizzou goes 3-9, and they beat La Tech, Abilene Christian, our brethren over there, and New Mexico State to get to 3 wins, but they go 0 in the SEC.
Nice.
Oh, Will Anderson is giddy.
Yeah.
I sent Will and Ben a video of him being interviewed about game week, and he is giddy, which is terrifying to anybody else. But yeah, I got
Scary place
going
to be.
3-9. What about you guys?
I'm looking here. I think I'll give Missouri 4-8, and maybe they upset somebody. I think they can probably win the first 3. They may lose to Kansas State.
Oh yeah.
Win the first 3. Vanderbilt game's a toss up. New Mexico State, I'll give them 4 wins. I don't think they beat any of the big dogs, in the SEC.
Ben, Blake.
What
Go
you
ahead,
got?
Although their coach is pretty slick.
What did you say, Travis?
I said 3-9. I said 3 wins.
I thought you said 3-8, and I was missing a game there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with you on that. I think 3-9. I think they got a pretty rough slate there.
Blake,
I'll put them at
Lakers?
4-8
Say one?
I'll put them as 4-8 as well. I think they'll beat a couple of teams that they are supposed to beat, and then beat a couple of teams that they aren't supposed to beat. So I think they could be a landmine for South Carolina or a team like that. So possibly Auburn. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the hot take right here.
I sure hope so, Ben Cooper. I hope they lose every game they play
Tennessee
in badminton and whatever else.
I could see Missouri losing to La Tech but beating Auburn. Something like that. So
the next I've got next to worst record is actually Mississippi State. I've got them going 4-8. They beat Memphis, Arizona, Bowling Green, and East Tennessee State, but go over in the SEC. Mississippi State 4-8.
Cool.
I tell you, I've got Mississippi State at 4-0 going into that Texas A&M game. Last year, I don't know if you guys recall, but I told you what was going to happen to the Bayou Bengals down in
you did.
LSU, and I saw the wheels coming off the wagon. And I think they're going to be better under Brian Kelly, but I don't think.
Oh, it's Mississippi State. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, you're right. So I think Mississippi State goes into Death Valley and gets gets a win. I really like Mike Leach, and that this is year 2 for him in the SEC. So I think. And
I think the quarterback actually had more yardage than anybody, right? But that makes sense.
They sling it. They like to sling it
around.
The old air raid down there.
Ben, Will,
go ahead, Ben.
What was Blake's final?
I'll give him a 6-6. I'll go 6-6.
I was going to say 5-7. So I was just waiting to see what Blake said before I said it.
I think I'm with Blake. I think I'm gonna go 6-6. I was with Blake. I think they go 4-0, and then I think maybe they can grab, Kentucky, and then or Ole Miss with ETSU. So I'm gonna go 6-6 there.
All right,
get one of those.
Let's see. I think South Carolina is my next win total. Since I went with Vandy at 5-7, I'm going South Carolina at 5-7. They beat Georgia State, Charlotte, the 49ers, SC State, Mizzou, and they get Vandy. They get both of them.
You're not going to give them the upset over Clemson?
Yeah, no, not happening. Not happening. Although that is probably the battle of the 2 goofiest coaches in college football. And I'm goofy, so I mean it's like right up my alley. But I'm just saying that that would be the goofball bowl. Man, we're gonna make you go next on this one. South Carolina.
I don't know. I'm looking at this schedule and I'm thinking, like, I feel like Arkansas, Georgia, maybe probably Kentucky, Clemson, Texas A&M. I'm thinking 6-6. I'm thinking it's going to be I don't know how my schedules are going to pan out with each other because I have no idea one versus another what I'm actually doing. But I'm just saying I'm going to say 6-6 for the time being. So does it really matter at the end of the day? No. So here we go, 6-6. Let's go.
I think South Carolina surprises a few people and gets to 6 wins and bowl eligible.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I guess it's all depending on if Rattler stays healthy, because he's gonna be the difference for South Carolina this year. I'm gonna give them 7. I think they upset 1 or 2. They may Arkansas week 2, something like that. Come out, surprise somebody there at the beginning, and they're not gonna beat Georgia, but I'm gonna go 7 for South Carolina. I think they get to 7 wins.
This is easily the least I've known about personnel, even for Alabama, than I've ever been. Like, I'm totally lost. So when you mentioned Spencer Rattler, I was like, man, I totally forgot that he was at South Carolina. Of course, everybody's moving pieces, Ben, right. Don't get any ideas. You're not transferring to the John and Paul show. So get out of the transfer portal. I think my next lowest is going to be the 7-5 Florida Gators, who welcome Utah to the Swamp this weekend, and I think they give Utah everything they can handle, but Utah does win. I've got them losing to Utah, Tennessee, sadly, LSU, Georgia, and Texas A&M. 7.
Yeah, that's a big game. Opening weekend, probably the biggest game in the SEC this weekend, if you want to count the Florida State LSU game off the bat, but Utah coming down to the Swamp, number 7 in the country. Tough way to open up, and all Utah wants to do is just pound the ball and beat you up front because they are strong and physical. But who knows what goes on? What could go on in the Swamp?
I think 7 wins is a great start for Napier, and I think he'll be fine. I don't know if it'll be at Florida, but.
Yeah, I'll go 7 wins.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the picture of Florida's team where they had 160 staff? Or no, it was 114 on staff. Yeah, it was something astronomical. Y'all need to look it up.
I should have put it in a resume.
Oh, the Florida team picture, the staff goes all the way around the entire team and just encapsulate. And they've got more staff than any other place in the country. I mean, it's insane. So I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna go 6-6 for Florida. I think they just year one. We'll see what Napier's got, and I think if they can keep him recruiting wise, he stole a few from Alabama in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
headed down there, so he's definitely building something.
New blood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Benjamin.
I'm struggling with that one too because there's so many of those games that feel like they could go either way. So you got, like y'all said, Utah feels like it could go either way.
It's gonna be hot down there.
Yeah,
for them folks from Utah. I'm just gonna say it's gonna be warm.
But it's Tennessee's year. It's always Tennessee's year. So Tennessee could get. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the experts here and just say 7 wins. So I think 7 and 5 is pretty good for them.
I got another 7-win team out there, but we'll wait till the end and hear what Blake has to say about those Cats. But
well, that means you don't have them picked last in the SEC, which
I don't.
Several do. So
you're right. I don't. So I'll just go. My next team, I've got the Hogs. I got the Hogs at 8-4. I'm a little less strong on the Hogs than I think most people are. I've got them losing to BYU, A&M, Bama, and LSU. That BYU team has got a lot of experience. They don't have Zach Wilson, of course, but they're pretty experienced. So I got a bunch of Utah wins in the SEC. Hopefully we won't hear too much about it, from the squawking heads or whatever. But I got Arkansas at 8-4.
Nice.
Yeah, week 1, they've got another questionable, maybe tough game. Final 4 team from last year. They start off with Cincinnati, but I think Arkansas can get to 8 wins this year.
Yeah, I actually had them higher than that at first, and then after our discussions here, started thinking about some things. I like that one of the sites that I was looking at was showing them 6-2 in the SEC. And if that were the case, I was thinking like even 10-2, but I'm gonna drop that to 9-3. I think I'm gonna go 9-3. I think they're gonna lose. I feel like they'll lose to Alabama. Hope at least that they lose to Alabama. I feel like they'll lose to Texas A&M. That's going to be two weeks in a row. But there's going to be a week in there at least. I feel like they're gonna struggle, whether that's with Cincinnati or whether that's one of these games right after Texas A&M and Alabama, or right before it, that they just stumble somehow.
2 things: Bama travels to Fayetteville. We don't play very well up there usually. They're going to be
true.
Fired up.
So there could be some things there. So
KJ Jefferson is a beast.
He's a dude.
Cam Newton, you know.
Easy.
And the second thing, he's a beast.
We struggle with that. Yeah.
And,
he's a Walmart version of Cam Newton.
Don't line up your best wideout who's hobbled to begin with against Will Anderson on an onside kick. Like, that's just dumb. Like, hey, here's our best player. Let's see if he survives this. He got him ready for the NFL. But yeah, what about you, Will? What do you think about the Hugs?
Yeah, I was sitting in Bryant-Denny last year for this game, and it wasn't the most enjoyable experience.
It never would end.
Like, until we saw Will Anderson, we were right there, and he just laid him out. But I'm with Ben. Arkansas, to me, I think Sam Pittman's one of the best coaches in the country, and I think he's going to line it up, smash mouth football. And that's all he cares about. And I think they go 9-3. And I think KJ Jefferson is just a huge difference maker in the SEC.
Yeah.
So I'm going 9-3. I think they lose, Alabama, A&M, maybe, Auburn, Ole Miss, somebody in there. I think they handle Cincinnati pretty well week 1.
Yeah, they mash them. They're going to come out and mash them. They're going to. Alabama gave them the
game plan. Yeah, if they just follow that blueprint, I don't think they'll have much of a shot.
Ben Cooper says Arkansas 10-2. He's got them losing 2 football games.
I was close on that.
2 football games. My next 8-4 may be a shocker. I'm going with the Big Blue, Kentucky, 8-4. I got them losing to the Gators, which is an upset loss. I got them losing to Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Georgia to go 8-4. So yeah.
Yeah, Kentucky, man, the Stoops up there has gotten them to start playing smash mouth football. They go into games planning on beating you down with that big offensive line, and so that's going to be successful in the SEC if you can do that year in and year out. So I'll put Kentucky at 8 wins.
Sounds good to me. Let's go 8 wins.
Yeah, I think I'm right there too. Looking at their schedule here, I think if they don't win 8, I don't think very many Big Blue people are happy. I think that's probably may even be, a non-win team, if the cards fall the right way, but I'll go 8-4.
And it's not that crazy of a schedule.
No, it's really not.
They really don't have that many great teams that they're playing this year.
Hey, Youngstown State may bring the boom.
The Penguins, baby.
You never know.
The Penguins. My other 8-4 team, I actually may have another one. Well, I've got 8-4 Arkansas, 8-4 Kentucky, and I've got 8-4 Ole Miss. And I kind of question that 8-4 because I just don't know what they're going to have offensively. They could be better than that. I could easily see them getting 9 wins or 10. But I got them at 8-4. They lose to LSU, A&M, Bama, and Arkansas.
I think Ole Miss is going to start off 6-0.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Like that, the first 6 games: Troy, Central Arkansas, Georgia Tech, Tulsa, Kentucky, and Vandy. They can outscore all of those. But they play Auburn week 7. And Auburn last year, we got them. And we withstood Kiffin and all of his offensive tricks. And so I see no reason why Auburn can't do it again. I do think they'll beat LSU the next week. So I've got them at 6, 7. I'll give Ole Miss 9 wins with losses to Auburn, Alabama, and Arkansas.
I think Andy Duncan would be all over that. I think 9 wins is a good total. I think they'd be happy with that after a 10-win season, a chance at 10 wins. If you look at the bowl season, yeah.
I think 9, and I had them 9-3, and I think my 3 that they will get beaten by is Arkansas, Alabama, Texas A&M, maybe. I don't think Auburn's going to beat them, but I mean, it could happen. I mean, I may miss one of those in there, but I think it's going to be about 9.
If it's in Auburn, literally, you just spoke.
Anything can happen.
It's at Ole Miss.
At Ole Miss.
Okay,
So.
Oxford.
Which, I mean, have y'all ever been to Vaught Hemingway? It's not really that big of a home field advantage.
Not like Muscle Shoals, right?
It is.
Man, looking at this,
How about your boy Lane, Will? What you got?
Well, I do love Lane Kiffin, and I hope he's Alabama's next coach. But I'm with Blake. They could go 6-0 to start off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They go 6-0, but I really do think they may lose the next 5.
It's a gauntlet.
I mean, they got Auburn.
It gets rough.
LSU, A&M, Alabama, and Arkansas.
And Mississippi State throws it around.
And they don't have – I mean, I don't even know who their quarterback is.
The Mississippi State and Ole Miss is always – I mean, it's almost always a good game, yeah.
I'm going to go – I love Kiffin, and I think everybody knows that, and I enjoy just all his antics on Twitter and everything else. I'm going to go 8-4. That Ole Miss – I'm going to go 8-4.
Awesome. Good deal. I think that's all my 8-4 teams. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to my 9-win teams. And some of these might be a little shocking, but I'm going to start with LSU. I think LSU has a coach who actually knows what he's doing. And, I mean, Orgeron had Super Bowl worthy talent playing, and he won a national championship. I don't think the talent is that at depth down there. And Brian Kelly can coach. He's got a pulse. So I really think that he could win 9 games. I think they lose to Auburn. I think that's the one Auburn gets that we're all like, how? And then I think they lose to Bama and Arkansas. I think they get A&M. I think they play A&M at the end of the year. That game is always insane. I'm not sure Brian Kelly is ready for the insanity, but Jimbo Fisher always has something to lay out there at the worst moment possible for his team. I think he's got a chance at 12 wins and making the playoff, and they just can't handle the heat, and LSU beats them.
Yeah, I think LSU give Brian Kelly a couple of years, and they are going to be tough.
Yeah,
because LSU recruits itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are always saying about Brian Kelly, being at Notre Dame, he doesn't have SEC roots or he can't recruit the SEC athlete. I disagree. LSU recruits itself. And so I think this year might be a little rocky for LSU, trying to navigate your first year in the SEC for Brian Kelly. But, yeah, I could see them getting to 8 wins this year.
And if you remember, there was a young man named Nick Saban who left Michigan State to go to LSU, and it didn't seem like he had much trouble, just to be honest. And we're just glad he's not there anymore, right? I
wish he was still there.
I'm gonna go. I'm with Blake. I'm gonna go 8-4. I think there's just a couple of games. They're at Auburn, at Arkansas, at A&M. I think going down the road, I think Alabama gets them. Tennessee even may get them.
Florida.
So I'm gonna go 8-4. I think they got some tough things that they got to figure out. Especially under first year.
Week 1, they got Florida State on a Sunday night.
I don't know that they win that one. You know,
that'll be a good game.
I'm seeing people predicting them going 3-5 in the conference. So, I had them penciled in at 6-6. I'm trying to decide whether I want to make that 7-5. But I'm thinking it's going to be kind of middle of the road. I don't know that they're going to. I feel like they're going to struggle a little bit first year, kind of thing. So, y'all have helped convince me a little bit better. I'm gonna go 7-5. So make that official. 7-5.
Gotcha. 7-5 locked in. Final answer.
Final answer.
And then my other 9-3 team. I really don't even want to say this because I want to throw up because people will be
there.
I don't believe the hype. I really don't. Like, there's a ton of hype up here. They've got a quarterback now. What? And I'm like, what have they got else? Like, what else is showing up? Oh, boy. Nerfing is showing up. But I think they finished 9-3. I think they lose to the Bayou Bengals. They better lose to the Tide or check your local bridges. And then they lose to Georgia. I think Georgia, Bama, and LSU. I still don't think they're as good as 9-3 will make them. I hope they're not. But I do think people have figured them out a little bit. I think that offense gave people fits the first year. There's that SEC adjustment. So, like, if Heupel can get to 9 wins this year, he's the real deal. Go ahead and bank it. He's going to do well. But this is the year that determines where Tennessee's going, not last year, this year.
So you said what?
9-3.
9-3? Nah. 7-5. I'm going 7-5.
Oh, I hope.
I'm just waiting to hear what Blake has to say.
I don't.
No prediction at all?
For who?
Tennessee.
Oh, sorry.
That's who we're talking
about. I think Tennessee's going to win 10 games.
What?
What?
Ball State, win. Pitt, win. Akron, win. Florida, win. LSU, win. Bama, loss. UT Martin, win. Kentucky, win. Georgia, loss. Missouri, win. South Carolina, win. Vandy, win.
Wow.
They're going to win 10 games.
I've got them losing to LSU. That's the only thing I've got different. I think, once again, it's just a talent thing.
Yeah. But they're recruiting. I love their coach. And I think they're legit. I think they're going to be really good.
They're one of the 3 teams that I have with the chance to beat the Tide. That's weird to say, but
they got to get their quarterback figured out. They got to.
It's got to happen.
I hope they've never had consistent quarterback play in the last 10, 15 years, really.
Can they keep him upright?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can they keep him upright?
This was also a terrible game to sit in Bryant-Denny and watch last year as well, because while our DBs were talking, they were snapping the ball and just quick routing us like crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with Travis here. I'm gonna go 9-3. I've got living in Tennessee for the 8 years I was up there. I'm also seeing a lot of hype on Twitter and everything else from my Tennessee people.
Like, my entire TikTok feed is nothing but Tennessee. Like, I don't know how this happens. So, I immediately get that out of my face, and there it is again. But anyways.
There's a lot of hype. That is for sure. So, I'm going to go 9-3.
Ben?
Oh, I said 7-5.
Oh, gotcha. 7-5's right. Okay.
I'm banking on what I hope happens.
Ben is allowing his bias to.
I love it. I love it.
Well, man. I'm looking at it and I'm okay. So, I get that, in SEC play, there are those who are calling for 5-3. 5-3 in Tennessee. I don't know. I just feel like there's just some games in there I don't know about. I don't know how they'll do with Florida. LSU, y'all were talking about being pretty solid, feeling like they were going to do pretty good. So, I mean, there's some games like that. I just don't know how they're going to fall.
I just need someone to name me somebody other than Hendon Hooker. Name me a player. Because if it's the quarterback, Arkansas, right? I mean, if that's all you need is a QB, then KJ Jefferson in Arkansas's got it, right? But once again, I stick with 9-3. Let's see, make it quicker. Here we go. I got a 10-2 A&M team. I mentioned they're going to be playing for a spot in the playoffs at 10-1 with LSU on the schedule, and things get crazy. Jimbo does something stupid against LSU. They play 17 overtimes, maybe, Blake. What do you think? 17 overtimes? Something
it's
insane.
on par
Somebody
for
throws
that.
a cleat. I don't know. It's late November. Somebody's going to do something nuts.
I agree.
Yeah. I've got him at 10, and I had him at 10-2 too.
Best team money can buy, baby.
10-2. Let's go.
What you got, Will?
I'm going 9-3.
Somebody gonna get them.
So I think somebody like Arkansas or an Ole Miss comes in. Auburn, I could see them going 8-4. To be honest with you, I just don't think all the hype's there. I mean, I think Jimbo's a great coach. I think Jimbo has definitely enjoyed the off season. So that's just
You think they look past a couple of these early teams thinking about Bama too much?
no. They'll run through Sam Houston, Appalachian State, Miami, Arkansas.
I'm talking about Arkansas and Mississippi State more than
I think they beat Mississippi State, but Arkansas. I think Arkansas is just good enough to beat them. I think Pittman's just
mash them.
And it's who knows what Jimbo has. Well,
they will mash them.
Playing against Mississippi State one week and then getting Alabama the next week, like that's got to be tough to prepare for.
Yeah, it's a hard shift. Slinging it around. And then we'll get to Blake's beloved Auburn Tigers, who I have going 7-5. They beat Penn State. You know me, though. I don't trust Jordan Hare. Something nuts will happen. A unicorn will fly through the sky, take a dump in the middle of the field, and it transforms into Cam Newton 2.0, and he's like in his prime. And all of a sudden, Lutzenkirchen jumps out of the end zone. It's like, what is going on, And it's just a replay, something. But they beat Penn State. It's going to be hot. I'll say that.
Yeah. Them boys from Pennsylvania ain't going to know what hit them, huh?
I got them losing to Georgia, Ole Miss, Arky, A&M, and Bama.
Well, Auburn named a starter, and my camera is going nuts, so I apologize. But
you look fine to me.
Well, it's like slowly shifting its way across.
I do
Auburn, we named TJ Finley the starter. That's not what a lot of Auburn fans wanted to hear. It's like you've got two big time transfers coming in, a guy from Oregon, a guy from A&M who beat Alabama last year, and like all the hype, and then they're no better than what we had last year. And
evaluation, what?
Yeah, so we need to recruit a quarterback, or we need to play our good quarterbacks, because fella who couldn't see the field at Auburn was a first-round pick of the Titans this past year. So Malik Willis. So we got to do something as far as evaluating quarterbacks. But I think we start off 5-0. We could beat Georgia, because Georgia is not the Georgia the last year. But but playing Georgia has had our number for like the past 10 years. It's the Deep South's oldest rivalry, but it has been extremely lopsided. And so I think our first loss is Georgia. I think we'll beat Ole Miss. We beat Ole Miss and Arkansas last year. They've done nothing they've got nothing different this year, and I think our defense is going to surprise some people. So I could see Auburn getting to 8 wins, losing to Georgia. We'll probably lose to A&M, Alabama, and Mississippi State.
I think if 7 and 8, I think if he can get to 7 or 8 wins, that's a huge deal. I mean,
yeah, but who knows if his
win 9? I mean,
who knows if his job's going to be there, because they just fired the AD, and we've had all this, or chose not to renew his contract. We've had all this off-season drama trying to get rid of Harsin. So, I mean, the guy, he doesn't have any backing, but I think the team has really rallied around him. So I think we could see 8 wins out of Auburn.
yeah. Well, I think
that's my realistic take.
8, I think that's. I mean, you can't let him go at 8. He may want to walk away, but
you'd be surprised, man.
I know. I'm trying to remember who I'm talking to, but anyways, what about you other guys? Auburn.
Will, what you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of like
Blake. Your wife may watch this. I'm just kidding. She's never going to see this.
Of course, and I don't, I try and be as fair as I can with a house divided over here. But I'm kind of like Blake, and I've talked to Lindsay about this. Like, if Auburn dropped Penn State and lost to a Missouri and LSU, I don't put it past the Auburn administrators to fire him. That's what we've talked about here. But then on the flip side of that, it's this is setting up, and I was telling somebody this today, to be Auburn's magical season. Everybody, there's all these allegations. They wanted to fire him. No one liked him. The players rallied around, and they go 9-3. It's what's going to happen, and no one has a clue. So I think unless Harsin dropped Penn State, Missouri, and just something crazy happens and they fire him, I think they get 8 wins, with a chance to go pretty good bowl game and get a shot at 9 wins. And if Harsin wins 9 games, he's set down there, in my opinion. But then it's who knows what old, Yellowwood does, and if he has a job next year, so it'll be interesting to watch. But I think they've got the ability to go get 8 wins. But I think they've got to give Calzada and them a shot. If Finley's struggling, I think you got to.
I don't think it's set in stone. I think that's just.
I think you got to pull Finley quick and go to the next quarterback and go, we're going to win. We're not just going to ride this. So.
Yes, I said 9 wins to Tennessee, and others said 10-2, and I want to bomb.
I said 7-5.
I'm sick over it. All right.
My question is, how many of these surrender Cobras is Auburn going to see in the season? Man. Look, I had them. You guys again convinced me a little bit, but I had them sitting at 6-6, just because. You got Penn State, possibly Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Alabama. That's 6 teams that could beat them.
Have you watched Auburn? They just.
I know. They find ways. That's why I'm saying I had them at 6-6. I'm going to go 7-5.
To me, they're the biggest question mark. They could do either one of those.
Yeah,
I think so.
Not shock me.
Last year, Auburn would have beaten Alabama had we not ran the ball up the middle at number 31 40 times.
I agree.
Tank Bigsby, I believe he's the best running back in the SEC, and that's not me biased saying anything.
Back this year?
Yeah, he's back. Jarquez Hunter's back. A lot of our offense is back. But if we had an offensive coordinator last year to, have some variances and not run up the middle at the best defensive player in the country, we wouldn't have lost the last 5 games of the year or whatever it was that we lost.
If we also didn't have the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, then we wouldn't have won that game either.
Yeah, that's true. So I think Harsin's got his guy calling defense, Jeff Schmedding, and he's got Eric Keesaw calling the offense, and it's Harsin and company against the world. That's how he views it. And so
And that's
It's time
where
to-
Auburn thrives, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true.
They just
It's
come
time
through.
to put up or shut up. He's got his guys and his spots, and we'll see what they can do.
There's so many games that are like just so questionable. You know, like
Yeah.
you get three or four games into the season. I feel like we're going to kind of know we may want to change all of our picks on all of these.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but 3-9. I don't think it'll be that bad. I'm gonna say
Blake, I'll ask. Go ahead,
7-5. 7-5 is my official. We'll give y'all one.
Blake, how long is the rope? Is this a situation where, mid-season, if he's not got the record the boosters want, is he donezo, or does he get the full year no matter what?
I sure hope not. I believe in Brian Harsin. I hope, I really do. I think he's got a lot of Nick Saban tendencies about how he operates. And I think if Auburn would just get out of the way and let him do his job, I think he would be great. But with the AD being gone now and nobody wants him there, yeah, I could see a mid-season firing. But I think our team is going to be too good for that, though.
Is Auburn still an everything school? Because they just got rid of the AD. That was
he was awesome. He was a rock star.
No, he was. Yeah.
If
I felt bad for him.
If they let Harsin go, if something went crazy and they let him go, they set the football program back 7 years.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. 5 to 7 years. Yeah.
I mean,
they just need to get out of the way and let him do his job.
One.
Yeah, just one, Jeff.
Just last year, okay.
So you guys want to do the defending national champions, or do you want to talk about that other school across the state, Blake? I'll let you make the call since you hate both of them so much.
Well, we can talk about we can let you Ram Jams have your moment of glory here. Week 1, they've got a tough opponent in Utah State, and I'm going to be there. And Bryant Denny decked out,
bringing the voodoo,
decked out in Utah State gear.
Are you going to be like sprinkling not so holy water?
Yes, I've got some Jordan Hare grass clippings that I'm going to sprinkle around the stadium, and
let's see how well Blake responds, and let's see who the better spouse is. With the way I talked about Auburn, let's hear how he talks about his spouse's team here.
Yeah, I hope Alabama loses everything that they ever play from here to eternity.
How about them vials? That's what I'm talking about.
How about them what?
Them vials. It's not balls, it's vials.
Oh, yeah. No, but okay, let me go realistic here. Alabama's going undefeated. It's not going to be – I don't think they're going to have a close game, to be honest. They'll smoke everybody. And we always talk about Alabama playing all these teams when they're down. I mean, Texas is not that good. And but, that's not Alabama's fault. They just play their schedule and smoke everybody. But Alabama's not losing a game, and I don't think it's going to be close.
That said with so much depression. Ben, Will?
Go ahead, Will.
12-0, baby. You know where I'm running. I think now I say this. I think we've got the best player in the country in Will Anderson. I think he could sit out the whole season and he'll still go number 1 in the NFL. I think Bryce is legit. My thing is everybody keeps saying if Bryce gets hurt or something happens to Bryce, we're no longer the team. But, dude, I think we got one of the best backup quarterbacks, and he probably would start anywhere in the SEC in Jalen Milroe. Dude is a tank. And
I could go play quarterback for Alabama and it'd go undefeated.
The other thing is we got Harrell from –
No, because you'd throw it away.
We got Harrell that transferred in. We got Burton that transferred in, both at wide receiver. We picked up Vandy's best player on the offensive line that transferred in. Saban went. He went and dominated the transfer portal and got what we needed. And our defense, To's back. Battle decided to come back. What everybody's saying too is Dallas Turner on the other side of Will Anderson may be just as good next year, as what Will Anderson is. Like, dude's just a flat out stud too. So, I think you're going to see more of that traditional Alabama defense, like that shutdown defense that we've had in past years. And we're not necessarily going to have to just run the score up to win the game. So, I think you see a Eli Ricks from LSU that transferred in. I think that defense is going to be pretty impressive. So
salty.
Yeah, so I'm going 12-0. And when Will Anderson smiles and says he's ready to hammer some quarterbacks, that just gets the juices going over
I'll pray
here.
for Utah State's quarterback. Ben, what you got?
I was saying 11-1. I just always am afraid of a hiccup somewhere. Like
who's the one?
I don't know. I'm debating between. I mean, we got Arkansas at home.
No, we're Arkansas away.
No, I mean at their home. I'm sorry, at Arkansas. We've got to go in there. The next week we got to come back and play Texas A&M with all the hype and stuff that's going on. That I feel like that little stretch, Arkansas, Texas A&M, and even like with Travis talking about Tennessee, there could somewhere in there. I feel like there's a trap waiting to happen, and I'm not saying I think Alabama is capable of going 12-0. I think that they're good enough. They've got a team that's going to be, crazy good again. Most of the rest of the schedule's not great. I just think there's a couple of games in there that could result in a loss. So,
Blake, you said we go undefeated. If you had to choose right now, how bad would you say we beat A&M?
3 touchdowns.
Wow.
I was going to say at least 2 touchdowns.
If Jimbo literally takes a deep breath and thinks for a second and watches the entire interview, he probably does not come out and lay out the dumbest response of all time. Like, look at the schedule and go, oh, we go to Tuscaloosa. Oh, we beat those cats last year. Oh, they don't need my help. But no, he can't do it. He cannot do it. Like, instead, it's just like, thank you, I guess. I guess you could be too amped to beat A&M and come out and play sloppy because you just want to pound them forever. But I don't see them beating us, although they still have the best team money can buy. I would almost give Tennessee a better shot if they were coming back to Tuscaloosa. But I think we get off the bus and they can't help but show their rear ends. And by the time game starts, you're ready to go and beat the snot out of those cats. There's no humility. I'm just going to throw that out there. There's zero humility. Like, they just going to come at you, which is great for them. But, those are the teams I would pick. I mean, Texas is going to be hot. I mean, like on the sun hot. But I don't see a loss, but it's which game are they going to come out and play down? Like, where's that trap?
You're going to have a flat game somewhere.
If
it might not be till November 26th.
What's that?
It could be.
The flat game might not be till the Iron Bowl.
You even pointed that out last year. It was, y'all came within a couple of minutes of beating.
Usually when y'all come to our house, it's slaughter time.
Yeah, we haven't won there since the comeback. I don't think.
My reference to Lutzenkirchen coming out of the back of the like apparition, like popping up.
Hey, I think the trap game is going to be Vandy coming to town at 4-0.
Yeah. Well, maybe
SEC game of the week on CBS.
Maybe a dumb lineman will stand up and say, "Bama, you're next," like last time. Ignorance.
My Bama pick live on CBS.
It's hard. I can't find a loss. I want to make one because I'm like Ben. I just think there's one out there. Nick Saban has went undefeated for 2 of his national championships.
There's always a game.
There's always somewhere in there they're going to play like trash, and I've learned to just go to bed and live with it the next day.
Jeff, we need to get tickets, Jeff. The 4 of us come up there and hang out with you.
Go
get
to West
tickets for
Virginia.
that game.
We do our pick 'em live in Morgantown.
Hey,
that'd be
have y'all seen the thing? Of course, y'all heard about Brian Robertson getting shot in an armed robbery attempt. And then it was a couple years ago when one of our players got shot before the season when we went undefeated and won the Natty.
Maybe that's a good omen, man.
So some of the guys, and they were like, maybe that's a little too soon. Like maybe we should have waited on that one.
All right, Blake, your other favorite team is the Georgia Bulldogs, defending national champions. And I'll be honest with you, I just can't wait to watch the mailman struggle to move that offense and to watch the defense. And the defense is going to be a beast. By the end of the season, by the time the SEC championship game rolls around, they're going to be a beast. They're not going to be what they had last year. And I think we're all predicting the SEC comes down to Georgia and Alabama. And I want to see Will Anderson do his thing. And I want to, because, not that I've watched a bunch and I've seen that interception over and over again, whatever. I mean, you wish that was the 2nd and 26, but it ain't the 2nd and 26. I hate to tell you, Jimbo. But I really hope to watch him struggle all year. I really do. That sounds terrible. That sounds petty. But I've seen all the love for him. And I'll just be honest, it's going to be hard not to let that go to your head. But I do think you think Alabama's got an easy schedule. Check out the Bulldogs, right?
I'm looking at theirs and just thinking, like, who?
After that opening week, where's an L coming there? I mean, once again, you got your hiccups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really see one. They got Auburn at home. They got Florida at home. They got Tennessee at home. Like all their tough games are at home. They get past Oregon week 1. I mean,
in the Oregon game in Atlanta, is it Chick-fil-A?
Yes, it is. It's in Atlanta. Yeah,
it's just a home game.
I think they do struggle some in that game. I do think it's not. I don't think they run away with it. It'll either be close and be decided in the 4th quarter, or Georgia will come out and just run all over them, just on adrenaline.
I tell you, the Georgia defense is not going to be what it was last year. I'll tell you that. So
it's hard to be. I mean, you got
my Huskers.
What is a Husker?
That was a rough game. I heard. I didn't watch it, but
I watched it. Blake coming out, scoring a touchdown, and then kicking the onside kick. Just
Blake, tell me that he didn't onside kick it with an 11-point. Just tell me that, please.
Well, he's got a Muscle Shoals boy sitting on the bench, and their current quarterback throws 2 picks in the 4th quarter. Like, it's just a meltdown of epic proportions.
Tell me he didn't onside kick.
He did it.
Hey, it was kind of like when Kirby came out in the SEC championship and ran a fake punt on 4th and 11.
Yeah,
it's like what in the world, man?
Yeah, if I was at that game, I would have been watching that onside kick. I would have been tempted to go to the concessions and get some of that free beer that they were passing out because the card readers went down and drowned away my sorrows off of that one.
So who takes the SEC? And then if you want to give me your final 4, or maybe give me final 6.
I don't think I gave you a Georgia pick yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All do Georgia? Do we all do Georgia?
Go ahead, Ben.
I mean, I'm looking at the schedule and thinking Georgia doesn't have a single game that I'm real worried about. But I'm like with Alabama, I feel like there's a hiccup in there somewhere. And I'm teetering between the 11-1 and 10-2. But after really looking at it, I'm gonna go 11-1 for Georgia too.
I think they struggle with some high-powered offenses. I think if Oregon was the Oregon of old, I think Oregon could beat them.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of the quick tempo, getting up fast.
And
Tennessee,
Stetson Bennett ain't that special, man. He's like an intramural quarterback. That's what I keep
saying.
He keeps winning.
He keeps winning.
The reason he's winning is because he's got Brock Bowers at tight end, who is
true. Dude, the baller.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the question: how many Alabama fans are going to be pulling for Bo Nix week 1?
Oh, all of them.
I'm gonna have my Oregon Ducks jersey on probably, but
he's gonna be seeing the ghosts of Georgia past. He ain't gonna do anything.
On Georgia, what were y'all's picks on Georgia?
I'm going. I'm going 12-0, and then I think they meet Alabama and get slaughtered, just like they did last year. And I'll bet it again that Ben still owes me a steak from the last time they played in the SEC.
I told Kenya that the other night. I was like, I still owe Will a steak. So yeah, I do.
I'll go Georgia at 11-1. They'll lose to somebody.
Who do you think they'll lose to?
Probably Tennessee, if I had to guess.
Well, that's what I keep looking at.
I just wanted to see Travis's reaction.
Tennessee or even Kentucky, somebody gets the better of them at some point.
I'm telling you, it's going to be Spencer Rattler week 3, baby.
Ooh.
South Carolina.
Beamer ball.
What'd you say, Travis? Did you
I said Georgia 12-0, but I do think some of those offenses, some up tempo, which is just Tennessee, really.
Yeah.
Could cause them fits, and Tennessee will be the blueprint for everyone else, like Alabama. I think Georgia, Alabama play, as much as that makes me, I don't know, but I think Alabama wins it. They get into the playoff. What about you guys?
I think it'll be Bama and Georgia in the SEC. I hesitate to say Bama because it seems like when I pick Georgia, Bama wins it, but I do think this year Bama's got a better team. So, but I hadn't seen them play yet. Are we going to get a chance to pick that game at the end of the season? Since
we may try to do that.
That won't be the official. I mean, this isn't the official, but
no.
My early prediction is Bama, Georgia, Bama over Georgia in the SEC.
Yeah, I think it's going to be your usual suspects there again. I don't think we're going to have, there could always be a Cincinnati or someone, that comes out of nowhere, but
I don't think
Alabama's going to be there.
SEC championship.
Oh, nah, they're not going to. You talking about SEC championship or the Final Four?
Yeah, I thought we were talking about SEC champion, but yeah, Final Four too. So what's the?
Yeah, well,
Bama,
I think we're all in agreement that the SEC championship is probably going to be Alabama and Georgia, but beyond that, it's going to be some of the same. As far as nationally goes, I'd be interested to see what USC does this year with Lincoln Riley, because Pac-12 is a joke. So if they can come out of that with several transfers, that'd be a team to watch.
Be interesting. So are we picking Final Four or no? I don't even have a clue.
You give a 6 if you want. However you want. I think Bama's one of them. I think you get one more SEC school. I think it's going to be Georgia or A&M, depending on if Georgia's 12-0 and lose the SEC title, they're in. I don't ever see them not getting in unless we just de-pants them in front of the country. I think Ohio State's a shoe-in. They're going to win the Big Ten. They're built. They're built to win. They remind me a lot of us 2020. Maybe not as defensively, but offensively, they're set up to score.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud's really good.
Yeah,
Stroud's still there.
4 points in bunches. I don't think I think it's a Pac-12 or Big 12 or ACC champion getting in. I don't.
Yeah, we'll see what Clemson does this year after being down last year.
Yeah, Clemson or Baylor, I think.
I'm curious to see what Venables does at OU. Coming in. I mean, he's a hometown guy. I mean, he was there for quite a while before Clemson. So, be curious.
It's going to take him a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But because he's got to get his offense figured out.
Yeah. He's got the defensive side of the ball figured out.
I agree.
Ben, you being for real? Ben Cooper, you being for real on this Bama SEC championship game prediction, or are you just mocking are you just mocking people up here?
I think he keeps saying it.
Last thing, guys, and we'll let you go. I know prayer services early in the morning. Y'all got any
Walmart run? Let's go.
You got any dark horse Heismans?
Ooh,
Ben Cooper says he's legit. He's picking Tennessee to make it. I hope so, because if they beat us in the regular season, it will be a wholesale slaughter in Atlanta. We've got so many outside linebackers that are good at rushing the quarterback. They've put 3 on the field. They put 1 at middle linebacker with Toto in the fall. We've got 3 legit pass rushers. So yeah, drop back to pass all day, big dog. We love that. Come on with it.
I think if Bama runs the table like Blake says they will and beat the dog mess out of everybody, I feel like Bryce or Anderson, one of those guys, has got to be in the talk for Heisman. And unless somebody just comes out of the woodwork somewhere else, like Bo Nix or something, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm wondering, you know, there may be
Bennett, Bennett, baby.
There's going to be somebody, you know, but if we beat people like you're talking about, I think Bryce Young, or you might even get that defensive guy in there.
As long as the internet exists, they will not give it to a defensive player. That's not happening. Not happening. But
yeah,
anyway.
and Dominican Sue was probably the last closest one. Him and Manti Te'o, and if they don't win it, then
shout out Manti's 30 for 30 about his fake girlfriend. You haven't watched
special.
It's solid. I'll tell you, dark horse Heisman, Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama's new running back.
Yes. I hope you get ready to see that swing pass about 30,000 times.
Yes, he can catch it out of the backfield. And some of the defensive guys already said he's one of, if not the best they've ever had to cover out of the backfield. So, and they've gone up against some pretty good ones. So
you don't think Tank is going to be in the running for that?
I think it's going to be Auburn's. You know, how does Auburn use him? That's going to be the big kicker.
Well, guys, I certainly appreciate your input. All the comments have been awesome. We love those, even though we don't agree with any of them, especially the one that's on the kicker right now.
Got one question for Jeff. I didn't even know West Virginia had a football team since Pat White left.
Pat White left.
We're friends with Jeff Blake. Be careful.
I know. I met Jeff at CYC. I got to poke fun a little bit.
He's talking about bringing us up to Morgantown, big dog.
Especially after our SEC or our
the basketball.
NCAA basketball, and I had them going out in the first round, and they went out. They went out in the first round.
Jeff took a hard one in March Madness. Took a hard one.
He did. We still love Jeff, though. A good friend of the show.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Like I said, we'll be checking back in around. Maybe it may actually just be a little past SEC championship game, unless we want to bring. If it's Georgia, Alabama, maybe we bring on Richard Holdridge again and trash Stetson Bennett to his face. Although I guess I probably should apologize a little more, but
yeah, I got to eat some crow too.
Yeah, I mean he made those throws, but let's just be honest.
We were down half a team, but you know,
okay. I'd say more the defense. I mean, I give them credit. The defense was amazing, like upper level. But we'll see. We'll find out. The proof's in the pudding, and the pudding gets mixed up this weekend. So. Happy hunting, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you jumping on, even though I know tomorrow is an early morning, but I'll be up bright and early sharing it on my timeline, baby, because it was good stuff this morning. So be sure to check in Highland Park Church of Christ. We'll share it on our Facebook timeline like we did this morning, but they're having a great prayer service, all that good stuff. So appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you soon.
All right.
See you.
Thanks, guys.
Roll Tide, Blake.